negative perceptions about each other. They hate each other. Nigerians are naturally elitist.
All right, okay. You can be black and hate us though. I've seen it a few times. I thought it was some. I was trying to have. That's a good discussion to have. I was trying to have a discussion, but I don't think they're too serious about it. So,
what?
It's a narrative that like, Africans look down on or dislike Black Americans.
Yeah, I heard about that before.
Right, and you probably experienced it, have you?
Not only
From like the parents.
Parents of who?
Just African. Say you had an African friend, like they parents or something.
Not really. I really, bro. I got niggas. Real shit, bro. Like not Africans, bro. You the only African homie that I got. Shit, I think.
It's true. Y'all didn't want to get on the Discord and tell me how is it true.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Not you, but just I want to know the chat.
I think because you said if they come in, they can come in. I was just saying like the only time I had a problem was with a Dominican. I thought because Dominicans we look the same, bro. But like I went to a club in New York and Dominicans. Some niggas is cool though, but I like that. But
what are Dominicans? That they were like Poppy?
Yeah, them niggas.
Hold on, Poppy. Hold on. How you doing, Poppy? Yeah.
See, I met some cool Dominicans, but you know
they
how
be dancing and shit. Poppy, like yeah, be funny. Like Dominicans is different, bro.
See, but I think what happened was I had to meet. I met some cool Dominicans, but I had met through another Dominican homie. But when I didn't meet some Dominicans without the Dominican homie, it was a whole different vibe. So then I was starting to hear about like nigga Dominicans. See, I'm from here, bro. I don't know no difference between no Dominicans and blacks and all the extra shit. Like, I'm just thinking.
Ain't fan of Dominican?
Yeah, fan of Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in a like section. I'm in Dykeman, I think it's called. And I go to a club out there, and a security guard on some bullshit, bro. And I'm like, what's wrong with this? You know what I'm saying? Mm. But come to find out, they said that the blacks and the Dominicans don't fuck with each other in New York. It's what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true or what. Maybe in that area they didn't have some problems or something like that. But I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I was pissed off at that nigga. I'm like, this nigga acting like a hoe. But back on the African shit.
Yeah.
They said that niggas was cause like what is it? We spoiled or something like that, or they don't really claim us because you know what I'm saying, niggas was over here or some shit. But it's like, how's it our fault? Yeah, they got shipped over here, did they? Shit. And then what niggas helping niggas get shipped over here? So I'm like, how the fuck they gonna get mad at us?
Yeah. I think so. A lot of this shit is deeply rooted. Okay, let's like, have you heard of the saying, like, you put a red ants next to black ants,
and they really smooth
and they cool, right? In the bottle, when you shake that motherfucker up, the red ants think the black ants is enemies and vice versa, and they attacking each other, but nobody focused on who shook that motherfucker.
Facts.
So let's start from the root.
The root of all
evil. Why a lot of the issues we have even became the beat in the first place. Okay, so let's address that. No, we don't gotta address it, but let's just keep that in mind. Okay.
Yeah. Keep it in mind.
So with that being said, I can only speak on Nigeria. I can't speak on any other country in Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, okay, the different tribes don't even like each other.
I thought that was always crazy. I'm like, bro, how the fuck are y'all like?
Niggas and tribes in Nigeria have derogatory terms for each other. They have negative perceptions about each other. They hate each other. Nigerians are naturally elitist and classist. You feel what I'm saying?
No. What does that mean?
Classist. I mean, it doesn't matter, but just keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah. You funny because you said it don't matter, but you said keep it in mind.
I'm saying like I don't have to deep dive into it,
Yeah,
but you kind of have a grasp of what I'm getting at, okay? A lot of times what happened is, and I'm gonna explain to y'all the root of all of this, okay? A lot of our parents, right, older generation Africans, right, when they first came to America, they didn't come to America to the Beverly Hills or the rich part of the neighborhoods. They got placed in the impoverished areas, okay, around other poor Black Americans, right, around where crime rate was high and just the degenerate part of
Yeah.
society.
And that was purposely done.
Right? So
I'm asking. That was purposely done?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's like I'm saying most Nigerians didn't come here rich.
Oh, okay, that was your
They
point.
had to work their way up, okay?
Yeah.
So they grew up, they came here and lived in like the poor areas, the hood, the projects, right?
Yeah.
So our parents, a lot of the older generation Africans, the only perception of Black Americans that they saw was what was going on in those projects,
Yeah.
the degenerate part.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times Nigerians bring that same classist, elitist attitude that they had in Nigeria
To America.
to America.
Yeah.
And they treat Black Americans, I'm talking about older generation Nigerians, they treated Black Americans with that same attitude.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's already separate.
It's already separate.
Yeah.
So as a Black American back in the day, and even probably sometimes even to this day, right? You looking at a fellow African like, oh, my brother, like from the motherland, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you thinking shit is cool.
You think it's sweet.
It's sweet. But a lot of times what happened was they had an automatic perception of Black Americans based on what they were seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I think it starts there, okay?
Yeah.
And let me gather my thoughts. Africans don't hate Black Americans. I'm talking about our older generation Africans, our parents. It's not that they hated Black Americans. They hated the quote unquote degenerate part of what they saw where they was living around Black Americans, if that makes sense. Because it's like,
And so basically the word of mouth spread all kind of like back, like, oh, girl, you see these niggas over here? Like that type of shit. Yeah. And so they kind of got a bad stigma from the jump.
Jump.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like me as a kid, when I was, and a lot of y'all, if you a second gen Nigerian that was born and raised in America, you probably experienced this where like your parents prejudge your friends because of the negative perception they had already had about Black Americans. You feel me? They had like derogatory terms for degenerate Black Americans, right?
Yeah.
But again, that comes from the classist attitude, the elitist attitude, and it's no different than like how it's some bougie Black Americans,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
That look down on
For
from
sure.
the hood, like
we don't. That's ghetto.
it's too ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Or
facts.
like they wouldn't stay same type of classism. You feel what I'm talking
But
about?
that's why. Okay, so I see where you.
It's not like Africans hate Black Americans. No, that's a misconception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Older generations had that disdain based on their perception of what they saw where they lived and where they grew up
Yeah.
about the degenerate side of Black Americans. Now, mind you, every race has a degenerate side. So
Yeah.
it's not just exclusive to Black Americans.
Yeah.
Black Americans just get unfairly, judged for it. But that's my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You got a
again,
point.
a lot of that is like back in the day. I feel like us, like the Nigerians that grew up here,
Yeah.
in Black American culture, nigga, we don't hate Black Americans. Nigga, we damn near want to be Black American. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we influenced by Black American culture. So it's like, and honestly, Black American culture is the most influential culture across the globe.
Nah, for sure. For
Every black people in all of the diaspora, they look to Black American culture to determine what's cool. You know, what's tight, what's you know what I'm talking about? So
that nigga said this wrestler.
diaspora, yeah. So, and you know, it's a movement. It's a movement. You know, it's like it's a group. I would say ideology, a group, a movement. You know, particularly on Twitter. They call themselves FBAs. That they identify as FBAs, Foundational Black Americans, right? And their whole ideology is like delineation from Black immigrants, and you know, regaining the hold of the culture. You know what I'm talking about? Because they feel like not everybody is kinfolk, it's kinfolk, and that's true. And you know, they fight for reparations, and a lot of times there's always like arguments between foundational Black Americans and everybody else that, you know, that fall in the category of Black immigrants. And there's always like a feud, and they always fight, and there's always back and forth.
Yeah.
But you know, I understand both sides, but again, a lot of this is deeply rooted, and you know who to blame. Like we didn't get to this point
without getting to this point. Yeah, for sure.
Was I yapping? I mean, I feel like I yapped a lot, but it was necessary.
That ism.
It was necessary. But yeah, that narrative it's yeah. I just don't like some Black Americans thinking.
You're just saying that off the
like,
rip.
yeah, like, you know, Africans hate us. It's like, nah, it's a little way more deeply rooted than that.